Today we are doing lesson 2.4, working with place value with a calculator. In this lesson, we will provide practice with place value skills using a calculator routine, and we will review reading and writing large numbers. Let's start today by singing our 7 songs as a warm-up. Who would like to lead? The first number is up here on the board. This number is read 56,385. With your partner, you're going to read the number aloud and say which number is in the tens place and how much is that digit worth. Then, what digit is in the ones place? How much is that digit worth? Turn and talk with your partner. Let's take a look at those same questions for problem 2. Here's the number 7,490,613. With your partner, turn and talk with those same questions. Now we're going to change it quickly and try a different place value. So we know the 5 is in the ones, the 8 is in the tens. Instead of doing tens, we're going to do 10,000s place for both number. And down here, we're going to do the millions place. We already read the number aloud, so now you're going to turn and talk with your partner and answer the question, which digit is in the 10,000 place, and how much is that digit worth? What digit is in the millions place, and how much is that worth? Turn and talk. At this time, you may turn to page 36 in your math journal. We are going to do this page together. When we start with the number 570, we're going to take a look at the place digit of the tens. What number is in the tens place? If we wanted to change that to a 0, what operation would we need to use? Right, we would need to subtract. So at this time, you're going to write down that we want to change that to a 0, so you would write down a 0. And we're going to write the operation minus. When we change that to a 0, our new number is 500. Let's try that with the next one. We start with the number 409, and we want to look at the hundreds place. The 4 is in the hundreds place. If we want to change that to an 8, will we add or subtract? Right, we're going to add. When we add 8, or when we add to the hundreds place, and we make it an 8, what is our new number? The other thing we need to be able to do on these is do each of these problems on our calculator. So we're going to go back to problem 1, and if we want to change the number in the tens place, or the sevens, to a 0, we're going to have to subtract 70 to get the new number. So on your calculator right now, you're going to type in 570 minus 70 and then press equals to make sure you get 500. Do that right now. Give a thumbs up if that works. With the next one, we're going to start with 409. We said we want to add. Well, if we want to add to get the hundreds place to be an 8, we have to add 4 more, or 400. So you're going to add 400 on your calculator, press equals, and it should be 809. Let's start the next one on your calculator. On your calculator, type in 54,463. Now leave that there, and in your math journal, write down that you want to change that to a 9. So if we want to change that to a 9, we're going to be adding. How much are we going to add to make the thousands place a 9? Right, we're going to add 5 to the thousands place, or 5,000. So on your calculator right now, you're going to press plus 5,000 And let's see what that equals. You should get 59,463. The next one, I'm not going to write everything down. Let's have you try it. We're starting with this number, 760,837. We want to change the tens to a 0. We know that means that we need to subtract. How much are we going to subtract from the tens place to get this to be a 0? The next number is very large. How do we read this number? Right, it's 52,036,458. You're going to change the ones place to a 9 using addition. The 10,000s place after that, you're going to change to a 5 with addition. And finally, you're going to change the millions place to 1 using subtraction. We're going to pause the video here, and you're going to try to fill out all of those on your own. Part of your learning journey sheet today was to complete the top part of the page that we just did. On your own during class, you're going to do the bottom part. You may use your calculator just like we did in class, and then of course you're finishing MathBox 2.4. Today's work is playing the game Fishing for Digits. We're going to go over the directions right now. The materials you need for this game, follow along up on the board, is one calculator for each player, the Fishing for Digits record sheet for each player. It's a 2-player game, and the skill you're working on is place value. And you should be developing a winning game strategy. Your goal is to have the largest number after 5 rounds. Directions. Each player secretly enters a 6-digit number into their calculator. Zeros may not be used. Player 1 goes fishing for a digit in Player 2's number by naming a digit. If the digit named is one of digits in Player 2's number, Player 2 reports the value of the digit. If the digit appears more than once in Player 2's number, Player 2 reports the largest value of that digit in the number. For example, Player 1 names the digit 7, and Player 2 number is 987,675, then Player 2 would report the value of 7,000 rather than the value of 70. Then, Player 1 adds the value of that digit to his or her number. Player 2 subtracts the value of that digit from his or her number. If the digit named is not one of the digits in Player 2's number, Player 1 adds 0, and Player 2 subtracts 0 for that turn. Then it would be Player 2's turn to fish. Reverse the roles of Player 1 and 2 and repeat step 2, 3, and 4. When each player has fished once, the round is over. The player whose calculator displays the largest number at the end of 5 rounds is the winner. Let's take a look first at the sheet you're going to get. This is the record sheet. So just like it says in the directions, you're going to start with choosing a 6-digit number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? If somebody guesses one of your numbers, you're going to be putting a subtract here and subtracting however much they guessed. If you are the person who did the guessing and got it correct, you're going to add to yours because you got it correct. Okay, and you keep going for all these rounds till you get to the bottom. Let's look at a sample round. Down here it says, an example is Player 1's calculator shows 813,296. Player 2's calculator shows 328,479. So Player 1 asks, do you have the digit 4? Player 2 would say, yes, the digit 4 is in the hundreds place. Because Player 1 got it right, Player 1 adds 400. So they took their number plus 400 equals, and the calculator will show this answer. Player 2 had their number guessed, so they had to subtract 400. So they take their own starting number, subtract 400 equals, and you would be writing this all on your grid. The directions are in your reference book. You will need to refer to them as you play this game. Here's your work for today. Right now on your sheet, write down the date, 10-7. It's very, very important that you're marking off when you complete each of these activities. So you're going to do Math Journal page 36, the calculator change problems, and then fill in the bubble. Playing Fishing for Digits, and again it tells you the reference book page, the Math Master page, fill in the bubble. Do your math boxes, fill in the bubble. Your teachers will be asking you at the end of class to do an exit slip from journal page 36 to explain your work on 2F. When you're done, activity B goes on to day 3B. Activity C, you have a Math Masters to do, and then you do Blend Space day 3C. Turn and tell your partner what are the first 3 things you need to do during math time, and how will you show that you have completed them.